I'm at a spot right by the spring looking for the mill. This is the only thing that I found that I believe would be permanent and fixed here. It's possible that it is not permanent, it's just stuck in the ground and so it's not moving, but it's got form marks on it. And there's also one of these bricks like I found. There's rubble here of concrete. Try to get this cleaned up and flipped over, but it's too heavy. Appears to have been pushed off from the top up there, and more stuff pushed over here, like with a bulldozer or something. There's some sheet metal here. I also found a jar here. It was a Kerr Mason, self-sealing something other underneath it right there that I can't really make out. That kind of dates some of this. Also, I have bagged concrete that is set up. Got a couple of these and some other concrete rubble here by it. I passed by another thing over here. Can't tell if this was pushed here or if this was fixed here, but this is concrete here. And then there's more concrete right here. And that is under a fairly big tree. So it looks like this portion at least was here. And that a structure was pushed from above down onto it. Moving toward the creek about 10 feet from the other rubble, I've got this rubble here. It's got, those are nails. Those are nails. That is also a nail. Probably from the form boards that formed it up. Moving more toward the creek, I've got some wood that is not completely rotted. A little more concrete, some more sheet metal. And part of a fence post. Got some wire here. But also have a fence post here. And some more wood that is not completely rotted. 10 feet over from the last fence post I saw. Appears to be a stacked small wall here, running right along where that big wall is that I found. I'm probably, I don't know, I'm probably a couple hundred feet from where that big wall is. From my last point, I moved immediately down toward the spring. I was about 60 feet away from the spring. I have come across an elevated roadway. When I say elevated, looking down off both sides, it is easily 6 feet here. Goes straight toward the spring. There's metal off all sides. I've got a big piece of sheet metal there. I'm going to get below and try and uncover it. I've got a big piece of sheet metal on the other side. Not as big as that one though, just like a normal roofing sheet metal. Some more wood that is not completely rotted here. Barbed wire fence. And then the spring immediately below it. On the opposite side appears to be a matching elevated area. So this is a suspect site for some type of a mill. So it appears these two elevated, what I'm calling roadways, could have been a dam. That one comes down from the top of the hill there and ends abruptly here, straight across. I see a stacked wall on the edge of it, and what looks like to be a matching raised roadway on that side. The tree on that side is quite big. Got some pretty good sized trees on this one, telling me that these elevated surfaces are really old. I've been looking for the big bluff, trying to go off that information only of what is the biggest bluff along the spring here. So looked up the definition of a bluff, and it's a minimum of 25 feet high and a grade of at least 18%. So this here is the biggest bluff that I've found, and it just so happens to be right where the pile of bricks is. It looks like the pile of bricks was moved there. Just studying the pile of bricks, and there's a roadway that the farmers made in our generation. So it's possible that the pile of bricks was found by the people making the road, and they just moved them out of the way, realizing that it was something historic there, and they didn't just want to cover them up, so they just moved them from there to here. And so that's really all I have to go on. There is mortar on these bricks. I'm not finding any two stuck together. I haven't really dug through the brick pile very good. But one thing I'm finding is this type of brick. I've only found one and then a piece. And that was also down at that last location right by the spring where there was some concrete trunks. So I'm not sure how old this could be. It's possible that it just got moved here by circumstance and thrown over here. Also, there's a little sheet metal here. So not sure if that was found in the same place as the bricks or just moved at a different time. But so I think what I'm going to do is do some metal detecting here in the surrounding area to see what I can't find as far as remnants of tools or artifacts or anything like that made out of metal. So that's where I'm at. I'm on the opposite side of the spring, on the elevated roadway appearing thing that I saw, and so it is stacked rock, much like the wall that I found further down the spring. There is the other side. Barbed wire grown up into this large tree here. And a pretty good sized bank here. This is the opposite wall for the road here. And it also has rocks stacked up. Trees grown up through it. Wraps around. Kind of makes a top bank over there. On the plantation side of the spring, I'm finding some more fence posts that look identical to the fence posts that were on the other side. So, and there was a roll of fence right up there on the top, a fairly large roll of fence that wasn't rolled out. And then right here there was a few fences. It's a few fences put together. You've got an old barbed wire fence. You've got this type fence. And you've got some type of a cable. So this whole area appears to have been fenced off, and so I don't know if they were trying to keep people out or if they were just trying to protect it because of its historic relevance, and people just forgot about it. I'm not sure what the fence was about. In studying this wall, trying to figure out if it was a dam or a road, my gut tells me it was a dam. I'm looking for a mill here and signs of a mill, and I think this was a dam, and I think on the low side of the dam was a road. This appears to have been a ford straight across. Kind of matches. So you've got the dam goes straight across, and then you've got this road, easy entry, and then straight up through there. It would have been dry on this side, or mostly dry due to the dam stopping the water. Also, on the down creek side, there are a few rocks up there, but not like there are on the upstream side. I'm going to walk up there. So here is what I believe to be the dam, and there is the top of the bank here. There's that fence I was looking at, but I think this was like a seawall. That water was dammed up and came and it rose up here, and this was to protect erosion. There was a fairly large house up there, so this would have prevented this bank from washing away, and it goes a pretty good ways that way. I'll walk further. I'm on the other side of the fence, so this, what I think is a seawall, continues going down through here. For a pretty good ways. I'm at least 100 feet from the dam, and the wall continues down through here, although it's a little broken and missing some places. It is definitely still here. It kind of fizzles out right here at this big tree. I've crossed back across the spring. I'm on the cemetery side of the spring again, up on top of the hill above the dam, directly across from where the seawall started on the other side. And I've been here before and showed this. This would have been what I thought was the forge as you come up the hill. So down that way would have been the easy way to go. At the top of the hill here, I'm back to those fence posts. And you've got the fence posts with the same nail patterns as the other side. Pretty tall here. I'm 6 feet. That's a 7 foot tall fence post there. That's 8-foot at least tall fence post there, with some wood still attached here. And then this is where the concrete structure is that has been knocked down, and pieces of concrete here is above where the dam would have been. So I'm a few hundred feet down creek on the cemetery side still, trying to figure where the mill race would have went to. You have a dam, and then the water spills over on one side of that dam and is in a wooden trough or a dirt trough and travels to a wheel, and then the mill will be at the wheel, right at the wheel. So I'm a few hundred feet away from the dam, and I'm back to this wall that I found. And looking at the elevations, it is possible that if the dam was a little higher earlier on, that it could have fed this. A mill race could have come across there, built out of wood, and fed this a wheel somewhere right in here, possibly right in this ditch here somewhere. And a mill could have sat on top of that rock wall right there. The rock wall is about 40 feet long. Then the water would have spilled back out right here. And so what we have down here is kind of matches that. It is a spillway. All this is washed out here. Then kind of a natural spillway back down to the spring. So, possibility of a location of the mill is at this wall. On the other side, there's really nothing that indicates a mill would have been over there. There's a pump house, but it's of a later date. And so, from my digging around over here, this is the best spot for the mill. Would have been on top of this wall, and the road came through, and those bricks could be part of the mill. I don't know. They could have been bulldozed in the roadway here and pushed over there, because the road is only about 10 feet past this wall. So the road could have come through right where the mill sat.